Hey there. Welcome to Parties to Playdates. I'm Kendall.
And I'm Jess. We're here to fill your day with warmth and laughter.
Join us as we navigate the chaos and joy of everyday life.
We're all about sharing real-life moments with a dash of humor and practical tips.
So grab your coffee and settle in for a cozy chat.
Because here, every moment is a story worth sharing.
No topic is off limit.
And every listener is a friend.
Let's get this party started. Wakey, wakey, Jess. Hello.
Good morning.
Good morning.
We're recording extra early today because Kendall has places to be.
I got things to do, places to be, garland to take down. That's what we're doing. We're going to his grandparents' house to take all the Christmas garland down.
Oh, nice. It's about time. Well, what did they say or do this week?
Well, Ryan has been on this kick of like eating healthy and going to the gym, which love that for him. I think he just learned like what macros and micros are because we've talked about it in the past, and he usually always does keto, which helps him. He can lose like 20 pounds in a month on keto.
Freaking dudes, man.
It's a man thing. I swear it's a man thing.
Oh, I hate it.
I know. It's so stupid. But anyway, he doesn't even need to like lose weight. I'm like, why are you doing this? He's like, because I need to lose fat in my belly. I'm like, oh my God, you're hot. Leave it. And so yeah, we didn't understand what those were at first. And then he found somebody, I think on Instagram or Facebook. I want to say Instagram, that he's been like following their meal prepping and stuff.
Yeah.
And he's been super into this like pasta that he makes. And he made a really great one last week that I don't even know how many grams of protein. And then this week he's like, I need to do another pasta. It was so good. And he can eat it for like, it was 14 portions, 14 meals. And I said, what? I was like, that's a whole week from start to finish, lunch and dinner, or breakfast and lunch, whatever you want to do. But that's a lot.
That's a lot of the same thing.
Yeah, I can't do that.
I don't think I could do
that. I mean,
either.
I eat salads a lot, but they're all very different usually. But to each their own. Last night, he gets in this kick of like, I'm going to meal prep. And like, you saw the kitchen this morning. That was the result of it. And he's so cute. He like starts going to town on this chicken, throws his pasta in, and he's like, doing all the things at once, looking like a chef. And then he's like pulling the blender out. And I'm sitting on the couch with Maverick, and I hear the blender going off. And then like 30 seconds goes by and it's off. And then it turns back on and it's off. And I'm like, what kind of recipe calls for like blend on, blend off, blend on, blend off? I was like,
you're like, just blend the fucking thing.
Yeah, and then you can hear him like in his like quiet, like, what the hell? What? I don't understand. And I'm like, what is going on? Like, what is happening with that blender? And he's like, babe, the blender's broken. And I'm like, what do you mean the blender's broken? I literally just used it for a smoothie like that morning. I'm like, let me see what he's doing to this thing. First off, like the feel of the blender, it was like so hot.
Oh, like the motor was overworked and like I'm about to die.
Something like that. And I was like, what the heck? And I opened it. There's not the middle blender part. There's no blades. He did not put the bladed part in there. And he's... and it's just nothing's moving. And I was like, babe, I was like, the blender blades aren't even in there. He's like, well, then can you just help me out? Just do it for me. He's like, I never used a blender, so I don't know. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, how do you just dump shit in here and then not realize there's no blender blades? It made me giggle, but then I felt bad. I was like, oh, poor thing.
Those Ninja blenders are different. They're not like a traditional blender where the blade's like built into the base.
No.
They're almost like a blender food processor combination where you have to like drop the blade in. That's amazing.
Yeah. I was still sitting right there in the drying rack in the dryer, and I was like, oh, but that's okay. It happens. We have so many different types of blending devices in this house. We have our traditional blender. We have a food processor, which really like chops stuff up.
Food
like
processor, no joke.
No joke.
They can obliterate stuff.
It really did. One time he was making chicken salad. He threw like his shredded chicken in there. He's like, oh, it just needs to be shredded just a little bit more. Went and literally like made chicken paste.
Oh,
he was like, it was awful. It was awful.
Oh, no.
Oh, it was terrible. And then we have these like 3 different size like little blenders. But then we have the bullet.
Oh, the bullets that like flip upside down.
Those are my favorite. That is like, I will blend in that thing every day, all day. But yeah, they all have different uses in this house.
Yeah. Do you guys have an immersion blender?
We do have an immersion blender too, like the hand one.
Yeah.
Oh gosh, we really do have way too many
You
things.
guys have a lot. Are you guys just eating baby food all the time? Just everything? No, all of them do have their different uses though.
Yeah.
And they really come in handy.
Yeah.
So that's nice. I like the NutriBullets, but the only thing that bothers me about those is you can't like overfill them because the air can't escape. So
and that's what
I learned the lesson the hard way on that.
you couldn't get the lid off.
Where I was like, oh my gosh. And then when I did it, like exploded out. And I'm like, this doesn't make sense at all.
No, yeah, I didn't think about the air part, but yeah, there's no way.
So annoying.
All the things.
So annoying. I learned the hard way on that one.
Don't we all?
Well, my
going on with
story
you?
is also kind of food related. This weekend, I've been trying to cook more meals at home. We've done a lot of eating out in the last couple of months, and I was like, we need to hunker down here and make some real food. I get so involved in meals that I'm like, I'm spending so much time and I'm annoyed. And then I'll make a plan and then I don't want to do it because I just want to relax. It's the weekend. So this weekend I was sitting around like, oh, what am I going to do for dinner? And I got on Pinterest and I was like, quick dinner ideas. And so I found all these sheet pan recipes.
Oh, yeah.
Where you just throw a bunch of crap on a cookie sheet and put it in the oven, call it a day. So I found a couple, went to the store, and that night Torrin was coming home and she was like, hey, I'm on my way home. Did you want me to grab food or anything on my way? And I was like, no, I've got stuff to make dinner. But if you want to be helpful, you can just make it when you get here.
I love when you do that.
It's really simple. And she's like, okay. So she made it, and then I gave her the option of which one she wanted to make. And so she made that one night. And then the next night, she was like, oh, did you have a plan for dinner? And I was like, yeah, I do. And she said, is it another sheep pan meal? And I was like, yep, sheep.
We ate sheep.
And she was like, oh my gosh, I mean sheet.
She just like put the words together. Sheep pan.
Sheep pan. And I was like, did she think they were called sheep pans this whole time? Or was it just a typo? I don't know. It was really funny, but it made me giggle because I just started imagining crazy stuff like it's like really fuzzy and like your food is 100% get stuck in it. Like it's going to be a bitch to clean.
Oh,
like
no.
you're going to have to dry clean that bad boy.
I 100% thought she was like cooking sheep.
Yeah.
Like on the pan. Like
Yeah.
this is what mom told me to make it, so I guess we're making sheep tonight.
I never make that. But
I never make that.
but yeah, it was really cute. I thought it
Can
was
you buy
funny.
sheep and eat it?
Like you can buy lamb.
Oh, I guess that's
But
that's even worse.
Is that a sheep?
A lamb is a baby sheep.
Is a baby sheep.
Yeah, because I almost said no goat, but no, goat's something completely. They're called kids, aren't they?
Yeah, but when you eat it, I think it's called. I feel like they call goat meat something else because goat meat just sounds kind of messed up. Because if you think about it, beef is we don't call beef cow meat.
No, we do call it beef. I know.
Chicken,
ham,
poor chickens. We don't even care about them.
Why? Yeah, they just get chicken.
It's like we changed the names to make us feel okay about eating all those animals.
But I've totally had this conversation so many times with people saying, you know, why is cow called beef or steak or I guess burgers, but I guess that's like a whole thing. But yeah, pig, pork, ham, bacon. I mean, all the things.
Yeah.
I don't understand. I don't get it. But so I would call it goat because that's what it is.
Yeah, I feel like it's called the only thing
There
that
may be a
keeps coming
term.
to my mind is menudo, but that's like a Spanish word.
Yeah, that's like a soup.
But
Isn't
I
it a
think
soup?
there's goat in menudo. Like the traditional one. I could be so wrong. Oh my gosh.
I could be too. I thought it was a soup. I'm thinking pozole. Like my family makes pozole.
Pozole has like that puffed corn, the hominy in it. I love that word. I think it's
Hominy,
so funny.
hominy.
Hominy. What's been in a hominy? It's such a fun word. A lot of people don't even know what that is. We actually were at a restaurant with like two other couples one time, and there was something on the menu that had hominy in it. Mm-hmm. And everybody was like, can somebody tell me what this is?
It's delicious.
And I was like, I've got it. Here we go. I know what hominy is. And they were all
hominy.
They were like, what? Which it is kind of hard to explain. You're like, it's like a chickpea, but
Yeah.
it's made of corn.
And it's
But
big.
it's white and kind of fluffy, but not fluffy. Like,
Yeah,
it
the
is
consistent is so good.
it's such an interesting thing. It is really tasty, though.
That is so funny and so random. But yes.
Yeah. Hominy.
Hominy.
Today's episode brought to you by hominy.
Hominy.
love it.
So good.
All those hominy companies hit us up. We're ready to
I
promo.
And here we have hominy.
Today's episode
Is sponsored by hominy.
by Menudo's favorite hominy.
I'm trying to think of the name of the can. I see it every time I go to the grocery store. It's always on the bottom row.
Yeah, that's funny.
Well, that's great. So perfect segue into what we're going to talk about today.
Yeah.
Our diets.
Food, my favorite.
I love food too. I mean, we can't live without it. So,
Yeah.
I mean, it's a staple in everybody's life. So, we can talk about like just what we do, how we've always been like, because I know I've never been a vegan my whole life. So, I've definitely had like steps through it, like the process. But yeah. How were you as a kid? Were you a picky eater?
I was not a picky eater. Growing up, we did not have a ton of money. And so my mom homemade like everything.
Ingredient
Like,
household.
Yes, 100%. Like homemade bread, homemade
love
pasta. Like she always had a garden. We always had like fresh vegetables. It was honestly
That's beautiful.
very delicious food. It was a lot of hard work.
People strive for that in this day.
It was a lot of hard work. It was a lot of like, she did a ton of canning. Like we would can tomatoes, we'd can green beans, okra, like all the things. We had a whole like closet that was just filled with all the canned goods. She would do like homemade like tomato sauces and all sorts of stuff, like relishes, anything you can. She would do it. We would do jams and jellies and things like that. So we had a lot of very fresh farm to table food, but it was way cheaper than buying it. And we weren't big like snack family. Like there was not a lot of pre-made stuff in our home. For breakfast, we were eating eggs and toast and things like that. Or a lot of times we were eating leftover Mexican food.
Heck yeah.
because
that's delicious the next day.
When I was younger, we lived in New Mexico until I was like in 5th or 6th grade. And so it was so many like amazing hatch green chilies. So we'd have like enchiladas and tacos and salsa. And we did a lot of like fish tacos. And my mom got this like catfish recipe and this boudin rice recipe from this Cajun restaurant that we used to go to all the time. So we would do stuff like that. It was very fresh, homemade food. It was a lot of butter.
The more butter,
a lot
the
of
better.
butter, a lot of bread, a lot of beans and
All the
things
good
like,
bees.
all the good bees. So yeah, I didn't really grow up like, oh, we need to think about our calories and think about our fat. It was like, this is what's for dinner. Let's eat it. If you don't like this, too damn bad.
Yeah.
You can have it for lunch tomorrow. Maybe you like it better then. So I don't feel like we really had the option to be picky. And there's very few things even now that I don't like. And even things that I used to not like because I believe in continuing to grow and try new things. I've still tried things as I've gotten older. And there's some things that I used to not like at all that I can tolerate in certain recipes or that I actually enjoy in certain things. Like I've never been a huge peanut butter fan, but I can eat some peanut butter M&Ms and I'll have a peanut butter and jelly sandwich on occasion. What about you?
I'm like so curious about the Mexican food now in New Mexico because that sounds so good.
The Mexican food in New Mexico is different because I
was curious.
I think it's technically might be considered like Tex-Mex. But it's Hatch green chilies. Like New Mexico is known for Hatch green chilies. Hatch is a city. Yeah. Hatch is a city in New Mexico. And every year the grocery stores would sell huge like bushels of green chilies. Outside the grocery stores, they'd have these huge barrels that they would roast them right in front of the store. So my mom would go and buy like 5 huge bags of green chilies. She would get them all roasted. They throw them back in this bag for you. These like, I actually think they pour them in like a trash bag and then put it in the burlap sack. But she would bring those home and we would sit for hours.
Just peeling.
No, we wouldn't peel them. We would just be stuffing them into zippy bags. So then we would have a freezer full of green chilies for the entire year.
Because that's a lot of work.
Because they only sell them during one time of the year. So you have to stock up and freeze the chilies. But you didn't have to peel them all at once. Thank God. That would have been excruciating.
I thought you were going to, yeah.
And they're so spicy, you need just like one sandwich size zippy bag for a recipe. So you can really make them last. But it's nice because when you go to use them, you can take them frozen, throw them in just like a hot thing of water, let them defrost. And as they defrost, the skin, you can just peel it right off. So they're super easy to peel.
That's nice.
And like get the seeds out that way. But we would spend hours just getting them all done, and then it would be great because then we'd have green chilies for the rest of the year. And you can literally put green chilies in
anything and everything.
And it's like that
Gosh,
spicy burn that it hurts, but the flavor
flavor
is so good that you just want to keep going. So the amount of enchiladas we ate is like, and like green chili soup.
Ooh, goodness.
It was so, oh my gosh, it was so good.
That sounds, I don't think I've ever had green chili soup.
It's ridiculous because there's like nothing in it. It's like green chilies and I think maybe some tomatoes, just like a broth and some.
Is it blended?
Like pork. It's not blended. It's just like brothy. I feel like we would like throw sour cream in it sometimes.
Yum.
But then you would just take a tortilla and just like dip the tortilla and eat the soup and dip the, so
that
good.
sounds so good.
I'll have to make you some one of these days.
I love Mexican food. I feel like Mexican food is probably the most relatable to people and the most criticized food because everyone has their own version of what they think is bomb Mexican food.
Yeah.
Growing up, my mom always told me I was a picky eater. I think when I was like a baby, she said that like for baby food, because she was just feeding us jars and whatever like store-bought baby food was back then, that I would not eat it unless it, I swear to you, this is what she said, which cracks me up, unless it was like organic from Costco.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, I die. And she's like, you were such a pain in my butt because I had to only go to Costco to get you baby food. And it was so annoying. And she was like, now I understand the way you are today. And I was like, well, I don't know.
You were like, give me the real thing. Give me the vegetables.
Yeah, I don't even know. But
that's so funny.
But say my mom would cook a lot and it was like ingredient household. I mean, she would get like snacks and stuff. I'm trying to think about what snacks, but honestly, like when we were like wanting a snack or something, it would be like, go make yourself a mayonnaise sandwich, which I know people think is freaking bizarre when we talked about this, or like cinnamon sugar toast, like, you know, like toast it, butter, cinnamon sugar. She had like the perfect little contraption that had the screen and you could just like shake it all. Yeah. It was so good.
The pre-mixed cinnamon and sugar.
Yes. And she would buy those like raw tortillas that you had to like cook on the stove.
Those are so good.
So good. And we would just rub butter on them and like roll them up and eat it. Like those were like our snacks, and like string cheese. I don't think, and Go-Gurts. I remember a lot of Go-Gurts because that was like the thing back then.
Yeah.
Was like Go-Gurt yogurt sticks. But like growing up, she would cook and we would go out like randomly, I think. I mean, usually it was for like our birthdays. Like they would always, every single year, which I love about my parents, even now, till we're in our 30s and 40s, they're like, where do you want to go for your birthday dinner? And I'm like, oh my God, I just love you guys. You're so sweet and so cute. And now like our family has grown from like, you know, 3 kids to 4 kids to 5 kids. Now our significant others are coming and now our kids. So there's like 15 people like rolling deep into these restaurants.
Wow.
Like for a birthday dinner. It's great. But I would eat a lot of like really random things, I feel like, when I was younger, like super random. I have vivid memories of, and this is so funny because I'm probably going to blow your mind, of me just eating like a steak or like just turkey deli meat or like something.
Like, give me the protein.
Yeah, like I would just like go and just have a snack of this or a snack of that. Like I feel like I was a big snacker, like I was a grazer instead of just like sitting down and eating a big meal, which has completely changed now because I eat massive meals now and I don't really snack very often. But in high school, I was like, Mom, I don't want anything and I'm not going to come home, because I would have softball practice or volleyball or something like after lunch. And so I was like, can you just like please cook me some squash and zucchini with some of that Vidalia onion and salt and pepper and butter and just bring me that? And she's like, God, you're so weird. But yes, because she cooked it once and I'll never forget how good it was. Like, I don't know how she cooked it, but it was bomb. And literally she would like bring me like plastic cups full of like just veggies and a fork and be like, here you go. And I'm like, yeah. Like
your mom turned you into a vegan.
Yes. And you know what's funny now? She's so funny because she'll be like, I don't know where you got this from. I have no idea. Like
it was that squash.
She
won you over.
She would turn me on to like opening cans of green beans or like chickpeas from the cabinet and like just putting salt or like pouring ranch and just like eating it like that. Oh my God. It was like, and I was like, that's the best thing I've ever had. Like, it's so good.
That's so funny.
It's so weird. Or like, we'd be like, and I remember this too, because there was photos we just found of this. I think it was a Disney cruise and we were all pretty young. And I want to say I was probably like maybe like 7 or 8, maybe even younger. I don't know. But we would go to like, everything was all inclusive on those cruises. So we'd like go to like the character breakfast and have like Mickey Mouse and Minnie come feed us like their waffle shaped whatevers. And like, it was so great. They're like, what kind of drinks can we get started for you guys? And I'm like, I'll have the peach Kerns juice, please. And my parents are like, okay. Anywhere we'd go, it would always be either the peach or the mango or the apricot or the guava, all of them actually, I guess, Kerns juices. They were like my favorite things in the entire world, yet they were so expensive. So we would never buy them unless they were at Costco or something. But it was so funny. Or like we'd be poolside and I'm like, the people would come by and they're like, do you want any snacks? Like any like French fries, chicken fingers? I'm like, can you just get me a side of tomatoes and cucumbers and ranch, please? And my parents they're like, this kid is weird, dude.
This little
like,
veggie girl.
Yeah, it was like, I was just very strange growing up eating, but like I did eat meat and all the good stuff. Like my parents made this dish called chicken Cheez-Its, which I feel like you and Andrew would love. It is so good. Like for years I would be like, for my birthday dinner, can you just make chicken Cheez-Its? It's so delicious. It's literally like chicken breast in a pan, chunks of butter, like all the butter, sour cream, and then she would take a whole bag of Cheez-Its and like crush it up.
Like, yes.
And pour it on top.
Sign me up for that.
And I'm pretty sure this is it. And I think it's salt and pepper. And I think that's honestly the recipe. And you just bake it and it becomes like bubbly and delicious. And it like it kind of gets like crusty and like I love Cheez-Its that are like, like the extra burnt ones or the crispy ones. Oh my gosh, I miss those so much. But it would get like extra burnt and crispy. It was so good.
Yum.
It was delicious. Yeah, that's like a fun recipe. But yeah, I guess I was a weird little kid growing up eating.
That's interesting. I don't feel like there was anything specific that I was always like, Mom, I want this or whatever. Mm-hmm. Because I feel like we ate like a pretty good variety of foods. Like there wasn't ever anything super specific that I wanted. Whenever we would go out, we didn't go out very often, but I remember when like special occasions, we would go to Golden Corral.
I love a buffet.
Which was like the ultimate. And looking back now, like I haven't stepped inside a Golden Corral in a long time.
Really?
Yes.
When we first moved here, I was like, Ryan, let's go to Golden Corral. And he's like, are you serious? I was like, yeah, we were the youngest people in there.
Oh my gosh.
Literally. And it was like lunchtime and we just smashed Golden Corral. It was so good.
I love it. Yeah. We were always so excited for Golden Corral. But we do the same thing for our kids for birthdays. We'll take them to dinner. And a few years ago, Marin wanted to go to a Chinese buffet, which we tracked one down in like Panama City Beach.
I'm like, yeah, there's only like maybe a handful.
Yeah. So we went there and it was fine. But I was like, it kind of reminded me like why we don't go to Chinese buffet.
It reminds me of like CC's.
Oh yeah.
CC's like all you can eat pizza or whatever. Oh my goodness gracious.
There's a business plan.
That is a business plan. Because you know what?
Like we need all you can eat pizza.
As Americans, we probably don't because we probably already eat a lot of pizza as is anyway.
Is one whole pizza not enough for you? Come to CC's where you can eat 2 full pizzas if you want.
And dessert pizza. They have that like, or I can never forget like the photo of it. It's like I think it's like the Oreo one where it's like the big spiral swirly, like, oh my goodness gracious.
Oh man, buffets. Woo.
I love a good buffet. I love them so much. And Ryan's so funny. He'll be like, can you even eat anything here? And like, honestly, before any buffet we've ever eaten at, he's like, just go look and see if it's like worth your time.
Go do a walkthrough.
I have to. And usually, yes, because they usually have like a really great salad bar, but it's those places where it's like brunch buffets. Usually it's not worth it for us. So we're like, I'm sorry, Ryan. Okay. So yeah, what don't you like in food?
Really, the only things I don't like is I'm not a huge fan of liver.
Okay. Well, I feel like that's very
I feel like that's pretty common. That's one I haven't gotten over and been like, oh, I like it now.
Have you tried it like multiple times and just been like, oh, I can do this or no?
I've tried it somewhat throughout my life, but I've never come across liver that I like. I think it's a texture thing. Mm-hmm. It's just like a weird chalky.
I've never had it.
It's a very strong flavor. It's a very specific flavor. Although my Thanksgiving dressing recipe has turkey livers in it.
I think a lot of people's do. I'm pretty sure.
And
is that gizzards?
No, it's not gizzards. It's the actual liver, but you just like boil it and then chop it up in really small pieces. But it gives it a specific flavor that it doesn't have if you don't put them in there. So it's a very small amount, but eating them on their own, absolutely not. And then I've never been a huge fan of coconut or pineapple, but in the last probably like 5 years, I've enjoyed coconut more. Like there's coconut drinks that I like. I like coconut in certain dishes or like cookies that I don't mind coconut in. And then same with pineapple. Like I can have pineapple with tequila. That's actually really good, guys.
It's hilarious.
And then I'll eat it just like if it's like in a fruit salad or something, I'll sometimes have it. But it's not like if you gave me an option between like a pineapple or banana, I'm going to take the banana or pretty much any other fruit. But those are really like peanut butter, coconut, pineapple are kind of like my top 3 that are stuff that can kind of like be in things that I'm not a huge fan of. But like I'll eat Hawaiian pizza with pineapple on it, stuff like that. But I'm pretty wide open. There's a lot of things like that I'll eat. I'm not opposed to a lot of things, and I'm totally willing to try new stuff if it's not too crazy.
Yeah.
So
I feel you. Now that I'm thinking about so pineapple is a tricky one for me because I love pineapple. I can't eat it very often because I will get canker sores galore.
it is very acidic.
Literally like 2 pieces of pineapple. I'm like, damn it, I'm going to get a canker sore. And like it happens every single time. So I like really try not to eat pineapple even though it's delicious. But fake pineapple or pineapple juice, I cannot get behind because I think it's too fake. Like if you gave me like a pineapple juice from like the store or something, if it's not, it sounds so bougie. If it's not fresh, it tastes so fake to me. I just can't eat it. Even if it's like in seltzers, if they're like, oh, the pineapple one's the best, I'm like, you're gross because that is fake and it's disgusting. And no, it's not the best. Go black cherry or go home.
For real. Black cherry all day.
Yeah. Like that and lime, I feel like you just can't like go wrong. But yeah, I'm the same. I don't think there's anything that I really, unless it's obviously animal based, I'm not going to eat it. But there's nothing like I actually don't like, I don't think. I'm trying to think of something. I pretty much like anything.
Like I feel like I'm super easy. Like you could be like, I'm making this, and I'd be like, okay.
This is another weird one because when you said peanut butter, I'm like, I'm not one of those people that can like spoon peanut butter and eat it.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And I know there are people, like I know your friend loves peanut butter.
Shout out Joanne.
Yeah, I didn't want to know if I could say her name, but I was like, I know Joanne eats the shit out of peanut butter. But like, I can't do that. I could do it to like sunflower butter or like a really tasty different kind of almond butter, but peanut butter, I just can't do it. I like peanut butter dressings though, like in sauces. I don't like roasted peanuts. I like boiled peanuts. It's real weird. All of it's weird.
That's
to
real
me.
specific.
Like I can't. I don't know. It's weird. I think it's a texture thing. Shout out to boiled peanuts if you guys have never had it because it's such a Southern thing. When I moved here, I didn't know what it was because I saw it at all the gas stations. I'm like, why are people why are peanuts in boiling water first off, and then why are you eating them? Oh my god, it's so good. It's so good. So do you follow like any specific diet, or you just eat what you want?
You know, it depends on the day.
Yeah, totally. I get it.
No, I really, over the years, I've done a lot of different diets. Like I've done keto and I've done, what was the one before keto that was pretty much like keto?
Atkins.
I've done Atkins. I've done keto. I've done Body for Life. I've done like extreme macro counting. That is my least.
So you know.
That is my least favorite one. Just because I already spend enough time making my food and shopping for my food and prepping my food. I don't want to measure it, and I don't want to insert it into an app to make sure my things are right. You know, it's exhausting. So recently I have like a fitness coach that I talk to, and she has a really great program. Shout out Danita.
Oh yeah, we like her a lot.
Yeah,
I don't know her. I just hear of her, and I really like her.
She's got some tools that like just make your life easy. But she does I think she calls it, I'm going to get it wrong, but I'm going to try. It's like a 30-30-30 rule. Basically, the concept is I try and get 30 grams of protein with every meal, fiber with every meal, and like fats and seeds with every meal. So it's really like protein is the main focus, which 30 grams of protein per meal is kind of tricky sometimes.
Yeah, it can be.
Because you can get like 15 or 20 pretty easy, but 30 is, you kind of have to think about it a little bit more. But it's nice because once you figure out meals that kind of hit those a little bit better, then you can kind of just put them into a rotation and it makes it really easy. And then when I go to like have a snack, instead of being like, oh, I'm going to have an apple or banana, which has 0 protein in it, I try and think about like more protein rich foods like a hard boiled egg or Greek yogurt or cheese, or I like cheese a lot.
I was going to say cheese steak. I don't know why I'm so into cheese steaks right now.
I just love freaking cheese. So I do that, but it's like a way easier system for me just to not have to measure stuff and put things in a calculator and things like that. And it's easy because you can only eat so much.
Yeah.
When you're eating that much protein, it's really hard to like overeat protein because it's so filling. That's what I strive for on a daily basis. I don't get there every time.
It's okay. We don't have to.
But I would really like to get better at that just because I work out 5 days a week.
Yeah,
and
work out a lot.
If I was better at eating my protein, I would see better results with what I'm doing in the gym kind of things. I just need to think more about fueling my muscles so they can be strong and build and all that kind of stuff. But I love food, so sometimes I just fall off the wagon and eat whatever.
Oh, totally. We should all enjoy it I mean, I hate that so many people, like when I see Ryan doing this meal prepping and stuff, it like slightly hurts my heart, even though he could care less. He's like, I'm happy. This makes me so happy. I'm like, does it though? Because I don't know. I just feel bad when people are like measuring this and that. I'm like, you're kind of pulling out the beauty of cooking and enjoying it and doing like eating whatever you want. But I guess that's the one thing about being vegan. I do eat until I'm fully like satisfied and like satiated. Like I can eat as much as I want and have no remorse or no guilt or anything like that. So I guess that's like the nice part about it because I love eating. Like there's something about eating that just makes me so happy. I love being in the kitchen. I love having a good meal. I work in the industry for God's sakes. Like I'm around food all the time. But yeah, I've never been one to like count calories or I don't care about any of that stuff. Actually, I just don't want to eat animals. I think it's like it's super simple on my side too. I just don't want to do that.
Well, and for some people, like I tried to be vegan once.
I didn't know that.
It was for like a week, Kendall.
That's okay.
Or maybe 2 weeks. It was me and Andrew both did it.
Oh my God, I can never.
I know.
Andrew.
I was very surprised. But we were like, yeah, let's do it. And so we tried it and it didn't, it was very short lived. I think it's the dairy, I think is what got me because
it always gets people.
Like the cheese, the milk, the eggs, like all of those things are a huge staple of my diet. And I just miss those a lot. I wasn't happy about it at all. And it was, if I would have felt amazing eating like that, it would have been different. And I would have been like, that's okay. But I was like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
And it was kind of expensive, probably because I was trying to create all the things that I was missing or like buy the thing, like all the substitutes for all the stuff I'm missing. And it's like, if I would have just like gone hard on the vegetables, then maybe I would have been more successful. But I look at it, just like you look at Ryan being like, you're taking the love out of food. Like if I was vegan, it would be taking the love out of food for me.
No, but it's so true.
But it's true because obviously your tastes have kind of been ingrained more towards like vegetables and things like that throughout your life. And clearly I've been indoctrinated with cheese or something. A rich cheese history. Maybe my ancestors were like cow farmers or something.
It was like a farm
they
of
were
some
like
sort.
dairy people. But it is interesting, especially as a woman that has always been bigger and I can put weight on so fast. And it's not that I think having weight on is bad. It's just I don't feel good when I'm heavier. But the problem is if I just eat whatever I want, I'll just get bigger. And then then everything doesn't feel good. Like I'm tired, my feet hurt, my ankles hurt. You know what I mean? Because it's like, it's such a catch-22 because you want to enjoy life and you want to enjoy food and you want to be happy, but you also want to feel good. And so it's like, how much are we willing Like, what are we willing to sacrifice?
Yeah.
Like,
no,
what?
it's a tricky, thin line.
Yeah. Like, what changes are we willing to make? Am I willing to, think more about what I'm eating so that I can be a little lighter and my body can feel better? I can feel healthier. And some people, it's really easy for them to just stay like the same size or whatever. But that's never been one of my superpowers, unfortunately.
My superpowers is cheese. And
my
the good
my
kind of
superpower
cheese.
is cheese on bread and a lot of it, like.
No, it's so true. There's so many different, like, and it's funny because everyone's like, Ryan will tell you, if you ask him what the best diet for anybody's body is, he'll be like keto. I'm like, no, that's wrong. But like, and that's just me, and that is just him. Like, we all have these different things that work good for each different body type. I don't think there's like one correct way, even though I would love it if the world was all vegan, only because I would love to save every animal possible.
Yeah.
But that's just unrealistic, and that's never going to happen.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it sucks when diet culture becomes issues with people. And I think I just see it because I see it on social media. Every time I like go onto my feed or something, it's usually like the worst video of like chickens in a farmhouse or like pigs, falling off trucks or, it's like all horrible. I'm like, why are we doing this to the world? Why can't we just all like live
like
happy?
Vegan dark web.
It's like, it is like the vegan dark web. And it's like people that like trying to force their opinions.
Yeah.
Like, you need to be vegan because look at this poor animal. And it's like, well, shit, like, fine. I feel for a lot of different people and like their diet choices because I feel like people always have something to say about how someone's eating.
Yeah, well, there's
all
so
the time.
many opinions, and it really comes down to like what does work for your body. For some people, measuring food and counting macros is where they love and where they live and where they feel free and they make the progress they want to make. You really have to find what works the best for you and finding that happy place of like, how much do I care how this like affects my body? Because some people don't care, and that's fine. Like, if that's how you want to live, like,
if that makes you happy, then rock on with
go
your bad
for
self.
it. With social media, and there's so many people saying so many different things that it's like
People can get lost in it.
it's like, oh my God, like. One day avocados are bad, and then the next day
God.
avocados are good, and then one day eggs are bad, and then the next day eggs are
Wine.
great.
Don't stop drinking wine.
Stop
oh my
drink-
gosh, have a glass every day.
Oh,
Okay.
Don't drink coffee. Oh, just
Yeah.
kidding. Coffee is a lifelong. Everybody's drink. Like, it's exhausting at how back and forth it is. So it's like, what information is really the truth when it comes down to it?
Yeah.
So that's why I always go back to like,
Whatever
find
makes
what
you
you
happy.
like, find what makes you happy. Well, what have you been cooking this week?
I don't even know. The other night I made, and it was so good. 2 things this week. I made curry, which was just actually like, it was like a Japanese curry that I used to buy all the time in Hawaii because it was just so easy and so cheap to make in college that you could just make rice. And then I would saute.
Is it like a green or like a red curry?
No, it's like a yellow. It's like a golden
Okay,
curry.
okay.
It's like a really thick, it's not like a curry soup. It's like a thicker, almost like a stickier curry, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And you can buy it like at Walmart, at Publix. It's always like in the international, like Asian part of the store. And they have different spice levels, but I always get the milder than medium because I always say, oh, I'm going to feed some to Maverick, but I never do because I ate it all and it's so good. But I like cut up potatoes, carrots, onions, and then some like peas and corn and green beans and like threw it in and I just let it sit there. And then the problem with it is I smell like curry literally for the rest of the week because I'm like sweating out curry and I can smell it literally like at work or like when I'm hot or I'm like, oh my God, I smell like curry. But it's so good. It's like just Japanese curry with veggies and I put it on rice and I put so much sriracha. Oh, it's so good.
Yeah.
What about you? What are you doing this week besides sheep pans?
I know, sheep pans. Some good sheep pans. I did it was a rice one. It was this like Mongolian beef or something.
Yum.
That was actually very fast. I used a flank steak because that's what I saw at Publix. But you made this kind of yummy sauce for it that had like soy sauce, that gochujang.
Oh, gochujang? Yeah,
that
so good.
stuff. Some like brown sugar. So it was like a little hint of sweetness. So it was kind of like soy, spicy, a little hint of sweetness. I thought it honestly was going to be sweeter than it was. But you make this like homemade sauce basically. and then toss your meat in it and then put it on the rice. It was actually very fast. Like I made it.
Sounds so good.
And I'm like, dinner's ready. Andrew's like, that's it already? And I was like, I don't know. Like,
What else
it was
you want?
sliced up steak. You don't have to cook it that long, honestly. Like I barely wanted to cook it in the first place. But that was really good. We ate all of that. So super simple. Let us know, guys. What's your favorite eating plans, your eating lifestyle?
What do you guys do?
What are your favorite foods? What are your dislikes? Maybe I'll find one of those, those lists that's like, I've eaten all of these things.
Oh, yeah, like a checklist of...
We'll do a checklist and see
that'll be fun.
how adventurous we really are. Check out our website.
All the things.
Partiestoplaydates.com.
Social media.
Instagram. So, yeah, and you can email us or leave us comments or ask us questions or let us know what you guys want to hear about.
100%.
So, we'd love to hear from you.
Love you guys.
Have a great week.
Bye.
Bye, Kendall. Oh, what a good kissy.
That was a good kiss.
Oh, nice. And that, party people, wraps up another delightful episode of Parties to Playdates.
We hope you're leaving with a smile, a story, and maybe a tip or two.
Remember, life's journey is better shared with a friend.
And we're so grateful to be part of yours.
If you enjoyed today's chat, don't forget to rate and subscribe to our show.
Your support keeps our community growing and our stories flowing. We want to hear from you. Please send us your thoughts, ideas, and questions to partiestoplaydates@gmail.com. You can also find us on Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok at Parties to Playdates.
Until next time, keep embracing the chaos and finding the joy.
Take care and stay connected, party people.
Bye for now, and don't forget to laugh a little extra today.
Bye.